The deadliest day since the beginning of the pandemic. Let's check the fear mongering, shall we? All right, so let's go into this. This is insane. So I subscribe to Sky News Australia, and every morning, because I'm in the U.S., they're in Australia, I get a bunch of email, or not emails, videos, short videos for the most part from these guys. And here's one that came to, I said, wow, Victoria records the deadliest date since the beginning of the pandemic. And I said, wow, that's got to be pretty brutal. And I started looking at it. So let's read what they say here, shall we? This is just nuts. The premier, I presume that's like a governor, he said the fatalities, Victoria has recorded its deadly days since the beginning of the pandemic, with 13 new deaths in the past 24 hours. 13. All right, so you're thinking, well, that must be a small population. Hold on. Andrews, the governor, I guess, said the fatalities included 3 men and women in their 70s, excuse me. That's 6 out of the 13 were in their 70s. 3 men and 2 women in their 80s. That's 11 in their 70s and 80s, and 2 men in their 90s. So all of the 13 deaths were people above the age of 69. The state's total virus death now stands at 105, with 723 new cases of the virus in the past 24 hours, making the highly daily increase of cases. They have 5,300 total active cases, all right, with 312 being treated in hospital and 34 requiring ICU treatment. He said ADF personnel were, so check this out, I guess Australian Defence Fund, I don't know what ADF Force, Australian Defence Force. He said ADF personnel were knocking on the homes of people who returned a positive test to ensure they were isolating and understood what was required of them. Of 269 homes visited by the cops, a number of people were not home, and those people have been referred to the police for investigation. If you're a positive case and you need to be at home and you need to be isolating. So just think about it. Do you really want to get a test? This is like the issue when it comes to spotted owl and endangered species. If you put all your life savings in a plot of land in Oregon that you can farm off it, and all of a sudden a spotted owl shows up, are you going to report that spotted owl to the authorities so they can take your land without giving you just compensation? No, you're not. So are you going to report that you have coronavirus to the authorities so they can come knock on your door to make sure you're there? And if you're not there, they're going to report you to the police? Insane. All right, so how many people live in Victoria? 6.5 million people. 6.5 million people. 13 died. Less than 1,000 new cases. 6.5 million people. 13 died, all over the age of 70. More than half were above the age of 80. And we're gonna freaking freak out. And dude, if you follow the Sky News, you'll be just stunned at their complete violation of what they're doing. They're putting people in buildings, apartment complexes with cops on each floor. That way, if you leave your room, they come and they put you back in your room. Because they have these buildings that have people with infections in there. Now, this is freaking insane, man. For 13 people out of 6.5 million. It's not acceptable. That's just freaking not acceptable. And I get it's not U.S. You think we're that far removed from this here in the U.S.? I was watching a lady today go up to a mom with 3 kids, young kids too, say, "Why aren't you wearing a mask?" And the lady's like, whatever. The mom says, "Just get out of here." She goes, "Well, I hope you," and the freaking, the Karen looked at a little girl who's probably 4, said, "I hope you die. I hope you die." These people are insane. And if you're part of them, you've gone crazy. You're letting fear just destroy you inside. It's insane. So let's go. Of course, that won't be played in the media, but the anti-mask people will. But we'll never hear the crazies on the pro-mask side. So let's read what I got a comment here. How many people are there? 6.5 million and 13 million died. All over 70, and you're going to refer people to the police. We've lost our damn minds. And then let's see what we got here. We said some guy calls me an idiot, and I said, all right, here. So some guy, I said, explain, please. He goes, it's a deadly disease, and there are people under 70 who die from it. Not so much an old person virus. I don't know what that means, but I said, it calls me an idiot. But again, 13 people died. Some other guy said, I don't know if it was on this video or not. Let's see. He said 85 other people died in Victoria during that day, and no one said a thing. It maybe wasn't this video. It was another comment too. This is nuts. This is nuts. People have gone lost their mind. But this is the freaking clickbait stuff. Deadliest day since beginning of pandemic. 13 people. 13. All over the age of 70. More than half were over the age of 80. Nuts. We're not, look, this is scary stuff, man. This is scary stuff. And you cannot sit quietly anymore. You've got to take a side. Take the side of freedom, please. We'll see you.